Hello, everybody, and welcome into another Flames News and Rumors here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and as always in these videos, we got Justin Giampietro here. Flames, they're doing okay, I guess, average. They're not doing as bad. They've been winning some games, still not scoring a lot. They just got shut out again, but their goaltending's getting better, which is also good. So they're still last. They're still in the bottom of the league. So, Justin, how's it going?
Well, the Flames have done better recently. They've at least been winning some games. Their last game was comically ridiculous considering how few shots it had, and it was 1-0 in overtime.
Yeah.
Just by the box score. That is a wild hockey game. But
yeah,
they get a point, I guess. I don't know if that's good or bad at this stage of the season. Do you even want to make the playoffs? But they're playing better, at least. They're not completely falling apart. They are, I wouldn't say competitive, but they are not totally kicking the can down the road. This season's over. Let's just get that number one pick.
All right. Well, they have had some players that are playing pretty well, and that biggest one is their backup goalie, and that's Devin Cooley. We talked about Dustin Wolf playing a ton at the beginning of the season, not playing very well, but they still keep putting him in. They got to start using their backup, and they have been. And that's, Cooley's had a really good stretch of games. I believe he's leading the league in goals against average at this point. 7 starts, and all of them 7 quality starts. So none of them have been below that benchmark where it isn't a quality start according to the advanced stats. So is there a goalie controversy? I think that's a big question right now. Could there be a thing? Should Cooley be the starter and playing more than Dustin Wolf?
I think eventually it could be somewhere along the lines of kind of a 50-50. But at this point, you look at Cooley's numbers. He hasn't had a bad game. Every single one of his games has been pretty good. He is putting his team in a position to win, and Wolf, to this point, has not. So it's pretty clear cut. You start Cooley, and that's what they're doing. They've started him for their last 6, I believe. So they're definitely starting to lean on him. And by the way, one of those games, Wolf was pulled. So he's the guy right now. And he recently had that, we talked about it at the start, that crazy 1-0 game. I know there weren't a lot of shots, but you get a shutout through regulation. I think you're the starter at this point. So it may eventually, like I said, even out to the point where Wolf is getting one, Cooley's getting the other, Wolf is getting one. That's kind of what some teams are doing. The Avalanche are doing that right now. The Wild are doing that right now. All these teams that are winning games are rotating their goalies every single game. So maybe that's what the Flames start doing. It would be nice to see Wolf get in and maybe get more confident, because he does have to play. He can't be the backup. That is your franchise guy. That might be the best player in your organization, period. So you do want to get him playing. And Cooley, as well as he's playing, you can't start him every game because he's not really a part of the long-term future. Wolf is. So you have to find a balance. And I think that kind of 50-50 would be that. But like I said, he's winning games. So in the short term, I think they stick with it, and eventually Wolf gets back in there somewhere. But yeah, he's playing very good hockey right now. Cooley is.
Yeah, his numbers are, it's you look at the numbers, like that's the trophy type numbers. And they are, but it's something that's, I don't think sustainable for him. Especially, if he's playing well, the team is going to start scoring some goals for him, though, because he is keeping them in there, but they're losing still. Like I say, the 1-0 game, he was really close to getting a shutout. If they would have gone to a shootout, he would have gotten one. Ended up not. And that was against a really good team as well. So it's like, it's not like he was playing against a team around their level. It is a good sign. And the thing is, if this forces the Flames to split the goaltending. That's the big thing, because I think Wolf was getting just too much, and we talked about that. So, I mean, if they can start doing a more even split, it's going to help both goaltenders, because Cooley, it's not doing him any good, him sitting as well. So, I mean, if they could create a 1A, 1B, which is, I think, what we were kind of thinking should have been at the beginning of the season, then that'll be good for everyone involved. All right. Well, one of the guys that has been helping the offense, even though it's still in a work in progress with most of the team, is Nazem Kadri. And he was on a bit of a slump. He's starting to heat up. And he's got quite a few points in the last bunch of games. I guess the question, I mean, there's talk about the trade and all that stuff. We talked about that many times. But how has he looked over the last few games, kind of carrying the offense at this point?
Yeah, he really has. Starting to look like the player he was last season, where it was kind of the same thing. I wouldn't necessarily say he was totally carrying them, but it really did feel like that. He was kind of their engine, and that's kind of what it's been recently. He's been really getting on the scoreboard now. Those impacts are leading to on ice production. So that's important for the Flames. They need to score goals, and he has helped them. He has 10 points in his last 7 games. That's basically half of his full season production in 20 some games. So he's really ramping up the efficiency. By season's end, I think it'll be a mix of his start and what he's done recently. Last season, he had, I believe, 67 points. So kind of being around that range, he's still got it. And on the trade market, that's going to be big. That's obviously a conversation for a little bit down the road, but he's still the guy for them. Maybe at the start of the season, you thought he's kind of starting to slow down, but no, he's very much where he was at last season. So it's still a good thing for them, even if you are in the we should probably start losing games now to get a top draft pick crowd. Having players like that play well for you, players on the trade block, that is a good thing, especially since they are winning, but they're still not winning. They, again, even this stretch recently, they've been about 500. That's kind of as good as it's gotten for them. So as good as Kadri has been, this team still has a ways to go to being even in the borderline wild card conversation. We said it at the start. That's probably not going to happen. That U.S. Thanksgiving mark is usually the time where you know your playoff teams versus non-playoff teams. And if you're in the basement, then you're probably not coming out of it unless you're the Blues 6 years ago. I don't think the Flames are the Blues 6 years ago, in my opinion, 7 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But to get back on topic a little bit, Kadri's scoring, so that's definitely good for him and good for his long-term future in the NHL. You know now that I don't think he's going anywhere.
That's the thing about him, and yeah, he has looked more like the Kadri from last season, which he had a really good season. I think he's still definitely a productive player. It's just they need other guys to do it as well, because they're not scoring a ton right now. They've been shut out. I don't know how many times in the last month or so. Many. There's been quite a few. I think they were on a shutout streak of like 2 or 3. May have been. I know it was 2 games for sure. And they just shut out again. So it's something that needs to be, I don't know if it's addressed for trade. They've got enough guys, I think, that can score. And I don't think they're going to be doing any trades to upgrade that. I think, if anything, it'll be trading guys away. So it might not help for the next, but the guys that are there, they definitely have to start scoring and helping Kadri out at this point. All right, to finish off, another big piece of news that happened over the last week or so, and that's Craig Conroy getting the extension that we were talking about. I believe it was the last video or the video before that, saying that, why haven't they extended him? Well, there it happened. He has been extended alongside the rest of his front office. So hockey ops, Don Maloney, Dave Nonis as well. And then you've got who's the other guy? I just had his name in my head as well. Brad Pascal too. So I mean, basically their whole front office is now extended until the 2027-28 season. I think the question is, for a struggling team, basically in a rebuild, is this the right decision? Have they shown enough to really warrant being extended?
I will say it is pretty bold when you are second from the bottom in the NHL standings to extend more or less your entire front office. That is a little strange timing, but I do kind of agree with the sentiment. Again, they're not admitting they're in a rebuild, but they've kind of gotten some of the harder work out of the way, I would say, with, they have a guy like Perek, they have a guy like Dustin Wolf in there. They don't need a ton, I don't think. They have a lot of good pieces there. You could use another dynamic player, which they are on track to get with where they are in the standings now. I think that's kind of inevitable that they're going to get a pretty good player in the draft. So again, that's like a lot of the heavy lifting out of the way. There's not much you have to do after this. Of course, you have to build a team and, surround those players with talent, but they have kind of these core pieces in place. And at that point, it doesn't make sense to just let everybody go. So I can understand why they want to keep the front office and Craig Conroy, who has helped form that core. He has made these really solid draft picks, I think, to help build this prospect pool that looks promising. Again, they could use another piece, maybe another 1-2 pieces. But as it stands, I do think they're in a pretty good position. So if you subtracted some of these young players and they just weren't in the system, maybe you would consider getting rid of some people in the front office. But they're in a good position, I think. Obviously not in the standings, and you have to try and build it up. But this is kind of rock bottom for them, and I think they just continue to get better and better and better as their young players in the pool come to the NHL, and they build up the pool through the draft and things like that. So I think they've kind of gotten the hard work out of the way, so it makes sense why you'd want to keep these front office positions intact. It is very difficult to kind of overhaul everything. It's hard on the players. It's hard on the management. It's just a whole thing that you don't really want to deal with if you don't have to.
I think, the consistency. I mean, all of a sudden you have new guys in there. What do they think? Do they think they're all of a sudden they think it's not a rebuild or a retool or whatever? They think, oh, we're good. I mean, there's been the talk of course, Maloney, we talked about in the last video, him saying that not rebuilding, we want to keep Kadri, we want to keep this guy. It's maybe a bit, like you say, they haven't said it's a rebuild, but I still think that's where they are. I think it's the R word is a bad word for management. A lot of these front office, they don't like saying it, but it is something that I think they've got to admit that that's what it is and start kind of keep going on that path. And the trades that Conroy has made seems to have been that, getting rid of veterans. They most likely they will be trading Rasmus Anderson at some point. And that's another veteran out, and they'll be getting draft pick, prospect, whatever, to further this rebuild. So I think that's where they are, and keeping a consistent vision throughout the front office and not bringing in new voices that might change it is a good idea as well. So for at least 2027-28, this front office will be intact, presumably. I mean, it's not like that they couldn't fire these guys. It's happened many times for other teams. They make extensions and all of a sudden they're gone next season. So but at this point, I think the consistency is good. All right. Well, that's we'll see if the Flames can win some games in the next week or so, or not. I mean, depending on where you are in that vote, do you want them to keep winning, or you want them to keep losing? But we'll see what happens. We'll maybe be talking about a trade at some point because they haven't done anything with trades yet. So and they've been in the rumors a lot. So we'll see what happens there. But until our next video, make sure you're checking out everything at thehockeyridge.com. We got articles from all the teams, and of course with the Flames, and our Substack newsletter. Take a look at that if you haven't been subscribed to that. And a comment on this video. Do you think there's a goaltender controversy right now? Give us a like, comment below. But until our next video, we will see you next time.